ratio and proportion. So ratio is the relationship between two numbers. Now there can be three ways to denote it. The first being the fractional, then the words, and then the colon notation. So suppose we have an example where we have 1 cup of milk to 10 cups of flour. So how do we present it in a fractional form? It is 1 by 10. Then in words we can just write 1 to 10, and in a colon notation we use this colon symbol and we write 1 is to 10. So let's solve a simple example first. So the first is that how to write the ratio in a simplest form. So the first part is 7 is to 14. So we can write in the fractional form. 7 is to 14 basically means 7 by 14. Now we know that 7 ones are 7 and 7 twos are 14. So we can easily cancel it out and we can write it as 1 by 2, and which essentially means 1 is to 2. Now similarly for the second part, it is 15 is to 25. So we can write it as 15 by 25, and the common factor is 5. So 5 3s are 15 and 5 5s are 25. So it is 3 by 5, and that is 3 is to 5. And the last one is 10 is to 4. So 10 is to 4. Now we know that the common factor is 2. So 10 by 4, 2 5s are 10, 2 2s are 4. So it is 5 by 2, and this is 5 is to 2. So let's move on to the next part. The next part means a direct proportion. So this means that there is a direct variation between any two quantities, and this is the proportionality symbol. So we have a simple example that suppose there are two quantities where x is the number of candies and y is the amount spent. So it's by simple common sense we say that if we buy more candies we pay more money. So this is a direct relationship. So let's solve a simple question. So over here we say that y is directly proportional to the square of x. So how do we write that? We write it as y proportional to x square. Now we can write this as, replace the proportionality by is to k. So this k is a constant, and this helps us solve a question. So this basically means y equal to kx square. Now we can just write this as y1 equal to kx1 square or y2 equal to kx2 square. See that k always remains constant. So from this we get y1 by x1 square equal to k. Then from here we get y2 equal to x2 square equal to k. So basically y1 by x1 square is equal to y2 by x2 square. So just put the values. So y1 is 24, x1 is 2. So 2 square, y2 we need to find out, and x is 4. So this is 4 square. So on solving we get that y2 equal to 96. Now similarly we go to a indirect proportion. So here when one value is increasing, the other is decreasing but at the same rate. So here we actually write it as a reciprocal. So x is proportional to the reciprocal of y. So this is a reciprocal relationship. Now for example, we say that speed and time are always inversely proportional. Why? Because if we increase the speed, then obviously we will reach our destination at a much faster pace. So the travel time will become less when speed is becoming more. So this is a reciprocal relationship and this is an inverse relationship. Now let's look at the question. So if the speed of the car is 10 km per hour and the time taken is 4 hours, so what is the speed to cover 2 hours? So let's first solve it in one way. So speed is 10, time is 4, and we know distance is speed into time. So that gives us 40. And this is the first part. And in the second one, we know that the speed is 2 hours. Distance always remains the same because it's said in the question. Then what's the speed? So the speed is, this should be time that is 2 hours, and this is the speed, that is distance by time. So that is 40 is the kilometer and 2 hours. So 40 by 2, that is 20 kilometers per hour. So this is one way to solve the question. The second way, using an indirect proportion, what we can write, that speed is proportional to the reciprocal of time. Here also we use the same constant k, right? So the speed into time is a constant factor. So speed 1 into time 1 will be equal to speed 2 into time 2, and this goes on. So speed 1 is 10, time is 4, and that is speed 2 into 2. So on solving, we again get the same 20 kilometer per hour. The next thing is a cross product. So in a cross product, we say that a proportion means that two ratios are equal. So basically A by B will be equal to C by D. So we can cross multiply, right? And so we get A into D is equal to B into C. Now finally, let's solve some questions so that our concepts are clearer. So in this question, the sum of two numbers is 14 and the ratio is -3, and we need to find the product. So let the numbers be x and y. Okay, so x plus y equal to 14. This is one question. And x by y equal to -3. This is the second question, right? So from the second part, we can write x equal to -3y. So we can insert this over here. So x plus y equal to 14. So x is basically -3y plus y equal to 14. So therefore -2y equal to 14, and y equal to 14 by -2, that is -7. And similarly, if y is -7, x will be equal to -3 into -7. So that is minus into minus is plus, and 7 3s are 21. So x is 21 and y is -7. So we need to find out x into y. So that is -7 into 21. So if we multiply, we get -7 1s are 7, 7 2s are 14. So we get -147. That is the product. In the second question, it's given 2 into x minus y equal to 3y. So what's the ratio of x is to y? So 2 into x minus y is equal to 3y, right? So this is 2x minus 2y equal to 3y. So 2x equal to 3y plus 2y, that is 5y. We need to find out x is to y. So x by y will be 5 by 2. So therefore x is to y equal to 5 is to 2. This is the final answer. And the last question is, the ratio of length is to width of a rectangular field is 7 is to 6. So this is 7 and this is 6, right? So let the multiplying factor be x. This is the solution. So we see this is 7x, this is 6x, and in a rectangle the lengths are equal, so this is also 7x and this is 6x. Now we know that the parameter is 78. So what's the parameter? Parameter is the sum of the lengths of all the four sides. So 7x plus 6x plus 7x plus 6x equal to 78. So 7 plus 6 plus 7 plus 6 is 13 plus 13, that is 26x equal to 78. And when we solve, x is 78 by 26, and that gives us 13 6 are 13 2s are 3. So x is 3. So therefore the length will be 7x. So 7 into 3, that is 21, and the breadth is 6x. So that is 6 into 3, that is 18. So therefore the area will be length into breadth, right? So that is 21 into 18, and when we calculate that 21 into 18, we get 378 unit square. So this is the final correct answer.